Welcome back, everyone. And we are live again from World FinTech Festival India 2021. And in this final session of the day, find out about the state infrastructure and initiatives to develop the FinTech ecosystem in the state of Tamil Nadu, India. This session is divided into two parts, where one is a video about Chennai and its brilliant ecosystem for FinTechs, and the second part, where Tirumati Pooja Kulkarni IAS, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer with Guidance Tamil Nadu, will be sharing a presentation on Guidance Tamil Nadu. Let's start with the video now.
This is where you invest to grow. This is where you innovate to excel. This is where you create your future. Tamil Nadu, your business sanctorum.
Hello everyone, my name is Mauli. I lead the Chennai Center for PayPal. The Chennai Center was established in 2005, and over the last 16 odd years, we've grown significantly. It is possible to do amazing work from Chennai. Over the years, we've had an opportunity to hire some amazing talent. We've also leveraged the amazing connectivity and infrastructure that is there in a center or in a city, like Chennai. The ecosystem in Chennai is also something that I should call out. In the pandemic, for example, at the beginning of the pandemic, a few of us got together to work very closely with both law enforcement and the government to see how we can set up a COVID war room, how we can forecast the number of cases, how we can forecast hotspots, emerging hotspots. And so it was an amazing partnership. Just one example or a glimpse in terms of the ecosystem that is there in Chennai. We are extremely proud to be in Chennai, and we feel like this is a center. This center for us is a source of immense pride, not only for us in Chennai, but also for the company. Thank you.
Hello everybody, this is Prabhu Rangarajan, co-founder of M2P FinTech. I'm connecting from Chennai. I'm not sure how many of you know the history of Chennai when it comes to banking and financial technology. Chennai was, back then it was called Madras. And Bank of Madras was one of the three presidency banks formed in the 19th century. In fact, 1843 to be precise, Bank of Madras was formed. So Chennai has a very long and rich heritage or history of banking and financial services background. At M2P FinTech, if you look at our company, we are very proud to have started up out of Chennai. And when it comes to Chennai, we think Chennai has the right ingredients to become the FinTech capital of India. Thank you so much.
Guidance is your partner in progress.
Hello and good afternoon, everybody. This is Pooja Kulkarni, MD and CEO of Guidance Tamil Nadu. Guidance is the single point nodal agency for investments, facilitation and promotion for the state of Tamil Nadu, both manufacturing and services sector. And I would like to thank the organizers for the opportunity. It's indeed a pleasure to be presenting the advantages that Tamil Nadu has for FinTech, for the growth of FinTech companies in the state. And I would like to share a small presentation for the same. So Tamil Nadu is the emerging global FinTech hub. It is really the bedrock of the Indian economy. We are comprising only 6% of the population of India, but we punch far above our weight. We contribute about 10% to India's economy, and we are the second largest economy of the country. Our GDP stands at about $265 billion. And if we were a country, we would be the 46th largest economy in the world. Our economy has consistently grown at about 11% in the last 10 years. And even during the COVID pandemic, when the rest of the economy shrunk, Tamil Nadu was one of the only states which actually grew by more than 5% in the year 2021. And that really speaks volumes for the state's resilience and the strength of its underlying foundations in manufacturing and services sector. And given this background, the state has embarked on an ambitious journey to become a $1 trillion economy by 2030. Tamil Nadu is also the third highest contributor to India's exports, and we house about 75 of the global Fortune 500 companies, starting from the likes of IBM, ABB, NEC, HP, you name them, and they are having their investment unit in the state. Across multiple socio-economic parameters, Tamil Nadu has been a leading performer. We have the highest number of factories in the state, in the country. There has been a robust growth in the services and manufacturing sectors. The state's per capita income is fairly high. It is significantly higher than the national average too. In fact, it is almost twice the national average. And I think the biggest advantage that the state offers is that more than 50% of the state is now urbanized. Amongst all medium and large size states, Tamil Nadu is the most urbanized state, and therefore it is a state which offers the highest potential for adoption of any technology. Therefore, companies, when they test out new products, they prefer to test them out in TN, given its high urbanized rate and also a very high literacy rate. The population is always enthusiastic to take up to any new technology. Coming to the services sector, it is a significant contributor to the state economy. Nearly 47% of the GSDP last year came from the services sector, comprising services, that is IT and finance, which together, of course, form the bedrock of FinTech. The state has some of the most important FinTech and financial institutions in the country. State has always had a very strong legacy, but apart from having built on this legacy, we also see leading FinTech companies and startups which have successfully been nurtured in the state and have grown from strength to strength in the state. So one of the oldest FinTech scams that owes its origins to the state, Intellect Design, FSS, these are some of the more mature FinTech companies that have successfully flowered in the state. And of course, the recent kids on the block, which have done very well, Credit Mantri, Funds India, Cred Avenue, these are the leading FinTech companies growing out of Chennai. Chennai is, of course, also the SaaS capital of the country. Zoho, Freshworks need no introduction. There are more than 300 FinTech startups, in fact, in the state. And all have been inspired by the success stories of these startups arising out of the state. It's not just Zoho, Freshworks. We have ChargeBee, which is a recent unicorn. The legacy also owes its strength to the fact that large multinationals have made Chennai their home for their FinTech operations. So whether it is international banks like Citi or BNY Mellon, not just them, even a multilateral financial institution like the World Bank has its entire operations out of Chennai. All its worldwide operations, all the fund flows, all of that is managed from their FinTech center operating out of Chennai. It is really their global capability center. We also have what is called FinBlue. It is a FinTech Center of Excellence. The FinBlue has been established as a collaboration between the government of Tamil Nadu and the software technology parks of India. A center of excellence, it has been designed to identify startups with the potential to create disruptive products or services, and also provide businesses support in the startups phase. So FinBlue provides mentoring and technical support through industry partners. We provide access to financial resources, funding, and also access to networking facilities and markets, which is so crucial for startups to grow. So far in FinBlue, 45 startups have been selected for incubation. Why is FinTech so crucial to the state? Why is it advantageous for the state to be home to your FinTech investment? The state has had a long legacy as a financial hub and as a hub of the IT services. The Madras Bank was actually established as far back as 1682, and then subsequently it became the Bank of Madras, which is also the progenitor to the State Bank of India. There are other PSU banks like Indian Bank, the Indian Overseas Bank. There are many private sector banks also, City Union Bank, Karur Vaishya, Tamil Nadu Mercantile, and so on. And apart from these, there are the NBFCs, the very successful NBFCs like Sundaram Finance, Cholamandalam, Shriram. All these, the fact that all these financial institutions have flourished within the state clearly show that the state has a financial culture, which reflects in the fact that the state has the highest cash deposit ratio amongst all the states in the country. So clearly there is a culture of banking and finance, and that also has and that also provides a lot of market ecosystem to fintech startups to try out their products in the state. The existing ecosystem that I already spoke about, IT services itself, IT contributes to more than $20 billion of exports from the state. And IT and data analytics, both, they've had a strong, provide a strong, well-developed ecosystem. About 7.5 lakh people are employed in this sector. There are more than 640 startups just in the SaaS and deep tech sub-verticals, covering artificial intelligence, robotics, blockchain, and so on. And just these startups alone are now employing about 15,000 employees. The financial services sector itself has grown at more than 10% over the last decade, and this sector contributes to more than 5% to the state's GDP itself. And that speaks volumes of the potential that the state provides. Not just that, it is not just the legacy that the IT services sector and the financial sector provide. There is a sound reason as to why these sectors themselves have grown in the state. The sound financial and IT ecosystem, it has been aided by a very, very highly qualified, productivity-oriented, and English-speaking talent that the state provides. Tamil Nadu is a bastion of higher education in the country. It has the highest number of technical universities in the country. There are more than 2,400 colleges offering various courses. 573 engineering colleges, highest in the country. Premier institutions, the IIT Madras, there is IIM Trichy, NIT Trichy, and there are a lot of private deemed universities like VIT, there is SSN, there is the Sastra University. All these private universities also provide a great platform for nurturing engineering talent. It reflects in the rankings of these institutions. So for the year 2021, the NIRF rankings, 19 of the top 100 universities in the country, 16 of the top 100 engineering colleges, and 33 of the top 100 colleges are all from Tamil Nadu. And that speaks not just of numbers, but it speaks volumes of the quality of the higher education that the state provides. It's no surprise that the talent from the state has moved out all over the country, not just the country, all over the world. Coming to the regulatory framework and what the government has done, the FinBlue sandbox that I mentioned, there is also the support offered by the Center of Excellence. The sandbox consists of an APIs exchange, core banking software, Analytical and performance monitoring tools that they provide, they help in providing a real-time environment to fintech startups for developing and testing their prototype also. Apart from that, the state has already published a cybersecurity policy and a blockchain policy. It speaks of the forward-looking nature of the state. The government is already providing grants to startups, and we have a separate program for startups under the digital accelerator. And the startups have got as much as 40 to 50 lakhs under this program. So Swire Pay, which is a fintech startup, they were sanctioned about 40 lakhs under the digital accelerator program. The state is also focusing on creating, on furthering this enabling ecosystem for fintech. It already has a strong ecosystem for traditional manufacturing and services. But for fintech itself, the state has taken very many steps over the last 1 year. We have established a fintech cell within guidance. The facilitation that we provide includes location advisory, incentives, processing of their applications, approvals and clearances that they require, and also promotion of fintech firms in marquee events, and facilitating collaboration with ecosystem partners, providing assistance in seeking markets, also supporting procurement by government of their products, testing out. There is the fintech registry also to track and monitor the progress that the fintech firms achieve. It is also a common platform that we provide to facilitate discussions between fintech players. Apart from this, the government is also setting out with an ambitious plan of creating a fintech city within the city of Chennai itself. It's a hub and spoke model, so about 100 acres of land, prime land within the state, would be set aside to develop multiple towers for fintech in the city. And this would be coupled with, this would be the hub, and the spokes would be in ensuring regional development also. So neo-tidal parks in tier 2 and tier 3 cities in the state, such as Coimbatore, Trichy, Madurai, etc. So even in these cities, which do have excellent infrastructure themselves, we would also be creating infrastructure for fintech startups to set up their operations, and these would be these would be available at reasonable prices. There would also be plug and play office spaces to suit the needs of both small and large players, dedicated labs for fintech. These are some of the programs that we would set out on. There is also a talent development program that we would be taking up in collaboration with the industry to provide courses to students with industry relevant curriculum, so that when students emerge from colleges, they are ready to go out and take up product development within the sector itself. And it would also include collaboration with fintech firms, so that it would help in talent scouting for the fintech startups themselves. Encouraging fintech adoption is one of the large efforts that the government is also taking, because we understand that unless government takes up development of the market itself and promotion of fintech products, that would be a single largest catalyst for the growth of fintech firms, which can then come up with innovative products. The government would also publish a fintech policy shortly. The policy is, of course, aimed at promoting startups, but it would also have provisions for large players who are intending to invest in the state and develop their fintech operations within the state, for which an exclusively tailored structure of incentives can be offered. For the startups, there is already a startup seed grant fund, which is available for early stage financing, research, and innovation. I already spoke about the digital accelerator. Under this program, grants up to 1 crore per startup are awarded by the state based on the potential of the product that has been developed. There are other fiscal incentives that we would be offering under the policy, which would go towards defraying operating expenses, some marketing support, employment assistance, and also skill development support that would be offered under the policy. Apart from that, the policy would also tie up with risk capital providers. It would seek to promote fintechs amongst the funding agencies, the private equity, venture capital funds, and incubators. And this would be actively done by the fintech cell in collaboration with FinBlue too. The policy would also seek to support the risk capital providers and defray some of their expenses towards rental fees, listing fees, and also provide funding from the emerging sector seed fund. So early stage financing to promising fintech firms that would be available under the emerging sector fund, and a matching grant that could come from the state, provided that the startup has secured some funding already from venture capitalists or private equity funders. All of these options would be available under the fintech policy. For large firms, as I already mentioned, a structured package of incentives can be extended, provided that the employment is offered to more than 300 people. Finally, just to introduce about guidance. Guidance, as I mentioned earlier, it is the single point investment agency for Tamil Nadu, and we have a large investment team with diverse background coming from various verticals, MBAs, engineers, research analysts. Guidance has already facilitated investments worth more than $35 billion over the last 5-6 years. And what we do provide is a common approval window. So we operate the single window portal under which all required approvals for manufacturing and services, whatever that are required, they are facilitated by guidance itself. So guidance, the broad functions that we offer, apart from investment promotion, we do provide investment facilitation, investor aftercare, policy support, single window clearances, and all other support that investors require. So do reach out to us, and we would be very happy to see fintech startups and large fintech investors flourish in the state. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you for that brilliant presentation and so much information about the ecosystem and the future of fintech ecosystem, rather, in the state of Tamil Nadu. Thanks once again, Pooja ma'am, and for your time as well. And to all the viewers, with that, friends, we have come to a brilliant end of day one of World FinTech Festival India 2021. And you can all join us tomorrow at the same time in 10:45 a.m. in the morning, and for more exciting conversations on fintech and allied industries. Till then, have a good day and good evening. We will see you all tomorrow. Thank you.